Life after professional football isn't all the glitz and the glam that people stereotypically think it is. Granted, for some it is, but for the vast majority of ex-players, the second half of their life is a real struggle. I've spoken to two former professionals to find out their very different life stories, as well as a career transition expert. Firstly, I met with Southampton Football Club legend and now Sky Sports pundit Matt Le Tissier to find out how his life had been since he retired.
I have to say I've had a brilliant time.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have. I've been very lucky. Kind of fell into the job at Sky on the Soccer Saturdays panel. That was, a couple of years after I retired, 2.5 years after I retired. And that's just been brilliant for me. It's been a lovely way to keep involved in football. I do a little bit of after dinner speaking. And kind of my life's my own, really. I do maybe 7 or 8 days a month work for Sky, a couple of after dinner speeches, and then I get time to play golf and spend time with the family, so it's perfect, really.
14 years ago, Gordon Watson's career was cut short due to a horrific leg break, and he told me how his life had been away from the sport.
Turbulent, ups, downs, mood swings, immaturity, maturity, just gone to every nth degree, really. Basically, for me, I'd done the same thing that when I was 5 that I did when I was 32. Then all of a sudden that's taken away. So I was like Peter Pan. I was just never grew up. Then all of a sudden reality hits and you stop going to school effectively. So all the camaraderie, all the laughing, the joking, the structure in your life just completely goes pear-shaped. And I latched onto a few other things, addiction, so I was gambling to the absolute max, just to basically, and I understand this now, to get away from normality, to try and create a false life and a false world, just like the football was, really. But you don't understand that until you get to where you are.
I'm here at the PFA offices in Manchester to find out exactly what role they have in helping players retire and the importance of what they do. I'm speaking to Pat Lally, who's a senior executive of the PFA and an education expert in helping players prepare for life after football.
Basically, the education department of the PFA is here to provide information, guidance and advice to all our members, irrespective of their age, and obviously we're dealing with lads from the age of 16 up to the oldest member that we've assisted this year, who is 72 years of age. Obviously the importance is to initially ease the transition from playing professional football into other walks of life, and to ensure that our members have the appropriate qualifications to assist in easing that transition.
Following a successful playing career, I asked Matt how he got back into the working world.
I was quite lucky in that I kind of had a nice testimonial at the end of my career, which meant I didn't have to worry financially for a few years. I could just doss around and see what I'm liking doing, and that's kind of what I did. I did a little bit of media work for BBC and ITV, and then the Sky stuff came up 2.5 years later, and it was perfect timing, really. So I kind of wasn't under that pressure to go out and get a job immediately.
Unlike Matt, Gordon struggled after football and shared with me how he lived.
I feel as if I was left out to dry on my own, but that's because no one knows it's going on. I mean, without generalising, I could show you an alcoholic, I could show you a drug addict, but you can't really show anyone a compulsive gambler, because they wear that mask so well, and I certainly wore it because I became reclusive, and the only people that really knew what I was doing was the people in my home. I mean, I split up from the mother of my children, but I believe I've become a better dad.
I asked Gordon if the separation of himself and the mother of his children was due to his addiction problems after retiring.
Without a doubt, and if we were both braver, we probably could have done it years before, because it was just, I basically created this world, and I think it's fair to say that she probably became addicted to my addiction.
I also asked Matt and Gordon for their thoughts on the PFA.
I think the PFA are good if you go to them, but there's no actual, they're not proactive, they're reactive. That's the experience that I had, and I guess I was quite fortunate in that I didn't feel like I needed anybody to kind of guide me through it.
Matt's 100% right.
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously went through my bad injury, and because my injury was caused by another PFA member, they sat on the fence. Whereas for me, it was night and day, right and wrong. Come on, take a stance. Now, don't get me wrong, PFA, obviously in conjunction with Sporting Chance, but I went through nearly 3 years of being clean of my addiction week in, week out, before I went to Sporting Chance and sought their help, because 3 years down the line of being clean or getting well, I realised it wasn't really about the addiction. It was about me. It was about why I pick up or why I search for something different. So that's when I then started working on me. So for the first 3 years, it was all about just filling the void, just doing something different. And then once I understood that I was doing that well, I then went on to the next stage, which was to basically learn that I've got to change me.
Pat Lally added his thoughts from the PFA's perspective.
I think it works both ways. I mean, we've got limited staff looking after 4,000 current members and in excess of 50,000 past members. So for us to actually try and contact and keep in contact with all our members, especially in years gone by, was very, very difficult. And for me, I think players should take more responsibility for their own futures.
While some players may need to take more responsibility for their actions, I still wonder, is there enough help out there to help them transition? Both Matt and Gordon's stories gave an insight into how different your life can be away from football, and while some players may continue to lead a life full of success, people need to be more aware of the struggles the majority of players face once they retire.